Welcome back to another Joytoy review. In this review, we're going to take a look at the new Joytoy Awakening figures. These Awakening figures actually have a name for each character. Unlike the other, most of the Joytoy sets are unidentified. There are several of the single figure, like the females for example, do have names. But these are actually off of a anime series from China. It's a zombie animated series. And they currently have made 3 of the characters from the anime series. This is the first one we're going to take a look at. So, if you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing so you can actually check out the other 2 reviews when they go up. And if you do subscribe, thank you so much. So let's take a look here. We'll see what we got. So this is a packaging she comes in. She comes in this really nice, hard collector's box. It actually comes wrapped in saran wrap, but I had to remove it, take a preliminary quality check of the figure to see if I had to heat any of the joints up before we can do this review. So front of the box here, on the top right, we have Awakening with some Chinese below it. And the whole entire front of the box here has a very nice animated photograph of the actual character itself. Now this character does have a name. I'm probably going to brutalize it because I'm not good with Chinese. So it's like Luo Ning. So it's L-U-O for the first name and N-I-N-G for the last name. So the bottom of the box here shows Awakening in some Chinese. The top is the same. The side of the box here has the Joytoy logo. It has some Chinese ABS and PVC is the plastic it's made of. Here's the UPC. The side of the box does say Last Awakening. I'm not sure why this is Last Awakening, because the cartoon that you can actually view for free on YouTube here is called Doomsday Awakening. And there's currently, the best I can find, is 13 episodes. They are done in Chinese, but they have English subtitles. So make sure you want to check those out. And I know I've seen in my research that there was like 26 episodes, but I couldn't find the remaining 13 anywhere on YouTube. So, but here on the side of the box is just some more Chinese, and this is choking hazard here for any children under 3. Now these are for adult collectors. I don't recommend these for anybody, any children, because they will break. The bottom of the box here is black. So it's just basically, just drop the box out. It's inside the box. It's like we have a product insert. On this side, Chinese. This side shows the figure. Saying it's 10.5 centimeters, which is 1/18 scale, or around 3.75 inches to 4 inches. Inside the box, we have the figure is actually encased in foam. So this top piece here just comes out. Here's what the figure looks like here. Inside the actual box. Here on the left, we have the accessory pack, the figure on the right. So go ahead and remove the figure. And if you're interested, it's just basically a wet box with foam. So let's go ahead and take a look at the figure. This is a very nicely sculpted figure. This is more of a sleeker figure than we're used to. For example, here is a Joytoy figure. This is Helen. She's more of a thicker figure than the female here. When you first look at this figure, and if you're a G.I. Joe collector, you kind of think, oh, that looks like CoverGirl. She has a very, very nice head sculpt. Let's see if we can get that zoomed in there for you. She has a very nice hair sculpt. It's brown hair with a wash on it. Her eyes are painted very nicely. She has painted lips and her eyebrows are brown. She does come with a bomber jacket. She has the fur here around the collar, around each sleeve, and the bottom of her jacket. There's a zipper painted on, looks really, really good. And then we have some tampos or water slide decals there on her jacket. Here on the front here. One on this arm and one on that arm. She has a belt. Her belt is painted brown, silver buckle, silver paint. On the side here she has some grenades and some other canister devices painted silver. She has green pants, brown boots, with a little bit of the, well, it's like more like green teal pants, and tip of the boots are kind of like teal. So, zoom out of there. So the side of the figure, the back of the figure, other side of the figure. So one thing I wanted to bring to your attention about this figure, there's two issues that I personally have with this figure, and I'm going to point those out to you guys. First off is the way this figure is designed. The belt and her crotch piece here, that brown crotch piece is actually molded to this belt. So it's like, basically you could probably remove that piece as like a, you know, a slip on and off. But what they have missed with this figure is the legs are painted green, but the crotch piece that comes down like this and up is all part of her stomach. See right there? And because of that, they did not paint that actual piece. On my figure, at least. I'm pretty sure, I'm betting that's probably going to be on everyone's figure. If you have this figure, please comment down below so we'll all know in a community that if that's something that's universal throughout all the figures. Because you see the legs get attached and then the stomach is actually part of the crotch piece there. But all you really have to do here is if you can get, you just got to get that crotch piece over top of that piece there, and then it kind of hides it. So it's not the end of the world, but if it slides forward and you're looking at the rear of the figure, it kind of looks like a little weird or inappropriate, I should say. But it won't be that bad once you get it seated properly. Let's see here if I can get that to move. Yeah, you just gotta get it over. Just be careful because it's kind of thin. In case you want to shift it to one side, but maybe you have to take some heat to it, warm it up, let it flex a little bit. I've done it before. So yeah, so that's one thing to keep an eye on. Generally the issues I have with these wrists. These wrists are tiny. And for when we take a look at the articulation, I'm not going to be able to turn the hand 360. Now they will rotate 360, but there's that little peg right there that goes into the hand, and then the hand is attached to the sides. So it's kind of stiff from the factory. And this is why this hand's turned this way. The only way I can turn it is to turn it at the elbow here. But it's something you have to work on. Take your time when heating your figure up. Get that to work. You may have to heat it up, remove it. She does come with a set of hands, so check that out. But she only comes with a few extra joints, so be very, very careful with these, because you're not going to have a lot of joints to replace them if you break them. So let's take a look at the articulation for this figure. Her head does go side to side just slightly because of her head sculpt there. Her hair gets in the way. It does move back and forth. Her arms are on a ball joint. They go up about that far. This one here doesn't seem to move. I'm not going to force it. It's the best I'm going to get at this normal, 10 tension. I'm not going to put too much force on it. So they will rotate. These will rotate 360 if you want them to. They're on a ball joint there. Bendable elbows. Get you 90 degrees on both. And like I said, take a look at those hands. Now they do both bend upward like this, no problem. I had to heat them up a little bit, but I can't get to. They will rotate 360. It's a matter of getting that factory cylinder to let go without breaking that joint. Because all you're trying to turn is that little piece there and a peg in the arm. I'll show you what I'm talking about more once we get to the accessories. She does have an ab crunch. She does sit very nicely. You want to be careful of the legs because you do not get a crotch piece to replace it if you break it. Very nice sitting. Okay, she does have thigh swivels right here. You can turn those if you wish. Her knees are double jointed. You do not get a replacement knee joint. So make sure you check those knees before you bend them. Be very careful. So both legs will bend exactly the same like that. Looking real good. Coming out of the box, her knees were pretty good. I heated them just to be safe. If that interests you at all. Now her feet do pivot down. And they do pivot up. And they do rotate 360 if you desire. I'm not going to force because I'm not trusting these right now because I don't have extra joints. But she's a beautiful figure. Very nice. Not many issues. Just the wrists are very, very small. Very, very fragile. And this paint issue here. So if they actually painted that, they'd have to paint part of that stomach piece here. Because this piece comes down into here. See how that's put together. And then you probably have blue sticking on the top. It probably wouldn't be right. So it's like a give or take on your decision on it. But for me, when I had it, you can get that perfectly strap here over that crotch piece, and then you can't really see. It's just a matter of getting that belt to seat correctly. Yeah. It's hard to do it behind the camera. But overall, it doesn't look too bad. Once you get it hid. Her hair really does shine. So I'm going to turn her arm just a bit here. She is more on the sleeker side, like your G.I. Joe figures, like the Baroness here. Fits perfectly right in with those. And Baroness got their small feet also, so it's like it's a little bit of a challenge to get her to balance right. And also, here's a comparison of her and Scarlet, if you're interested, if you wanted to do like a CoverGirl actual, character here. I use her as a CoverGirl custom. And here she is with what had we seen earlier with the Joytoy figure. This is the Helen figure from the Double Sickle Squad. I do have reviews up for all these figures that we're comparing if you want to check them out individually. Here is an Amazon Warrior figure. Looking cool. Alright, let's take a look and see what we get for the accessories here. Accessories actually come in a little baggie. Gotta dump those out. Just give me 1 second, guys. And we will see what we get here. Hate to have nothing on the camera there, so just try to keep something so you guys can see. So, here is her hands, her additional hands. So let's see if we can get a close-up of them. See, this is what I was trying to explain. This piece here goes into the wrist. And then, okay, you have your hand there. So you're trying to rotate. You want to rotate this. But the ones that come with her, come with her already installed, it's kind of stuck in there like this because on the factory seal, and you don't want to twist this. What's either going to happen is you're going to break this here, or you're going to stretch these hands out. That's pretty much clipped over this joint, and this to pop out right there or right there. So you get one hand that's closing, and one hand that's giving some kind of movement signal. Now this one actually is a left hand, which is you want to be very careful with, because you only get, if you want 2 gripping hands, you're going to have to be careful not to break anything. Get that, especially if you break that off and it's stuck in there, you got to drill that out. That's a pain. Here is her. So if we get it to focus, this is her gun, her assault rifle. Has a grip on the front, maybe an ACOG scope there. It's done in a black mold with a tan paint. That's very cool. And then the joint you get, this is a shoulder joint. And I'm not sure why it's black. But they are black. You'd think they would use brown. But you do get a brown foot ankle piece. You get one of those. And the other joint you get, I believe this is an elbow joint. So that's it. So that's the only thing you get if something would happen to your joints. So let's take a look at how she holds her gun. Was it pretty nice? So you can't do this sculpted the jacket. You're not gonna get a shoulder mount position on this, but she does look pretty good in a standard. She has a grip here, hold it underneath the body of the weapon. You probably can get it on the actual grip itself if you wanted to. Wouldn't be much of a problem. Very nice figure. Okay, so just as a sneak peek for our next reviews, that there's 3 figures in this set, I should say. Here is a sneak peek of what's up to come. This is the next figure. So see how they come in a saran wrap. And here is the other figure. So you guys are going to want to subscribe. That way you can get notification whenever I drop those reviews. but I have to do some quality checks on those figures just to make sure that we're going to be okay, nothing's going to get broke, and we can get the review done and show you guys articulation. That will help you guys decide if you want these figures or not. I do recommend these figures. They're very cool. I recommend you check out the cartoon. It's pretty awesome. You do have to read the subtitles. We'll talk about a little bit about each character in the video. Like we're just gonna call her Ning here because her last name, N-I-N-G, Ning. She, these two are kind of part of their group. Don't want to get into many spoilers, but this girl is kind of like doesn't really hang out with these two a whole lot in the first 13 episodes. So I'm not going to give out any information, so I won't put any spoilers in here. But these two guys kind of hang out, and they eventually meet her, and she's in another group. So I'm not going to give out any more information on that. And you guys can check it out here on YouTube if you're interested. Just look up Doomsday Awakening, and they're about 20 minutes, I say. Most episodes are about 20 minutes. So hopefully you guys like this review. If you do, please consider subscribing. If you have already subscribed, I really appreciate it, and I thank you for your support. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next review.